What's going on, guys? Welcome to another second stimulus check update and stimulus negotiation update. Today we didn't have a lot of new information from the House, the Senate, or even the White House, but I do have some very important news that could potentially change the entire trajectory of the upcoming stimulus negotiations moving forward. So I want to bring that to your attention now. Now, more stimulus is needed. This is not my opinion. This is a fact. This is a fact that, Nancy Pelosi knows this. Mitch McConnell knows this. Steve Mnuchin knows this. President Trump knows this. Even the Fed knows this and is urging Congress to pass additional stimulus. That includes stimulus checks, additional unemployment, rental assistance, and even funding for small businesses. And all of this stuff is only 2 votes away. If the House were to vote on this and the Senate were to vote on this, we would have something, we'd have a bill that could land on President Trump's desk and be signed, and all this could be done with. However, votes are being held up by individual agendas. Now, just today, Nancy Pelosi held a call with top airline executives to discuss more federal aid in the tune of $25 billion for the airline industry. Now, the Association of Flight Attendants International President, Sarah Nelson, was on this call, and she had this to say after. She says, "It's clear that this is a priority of the speakers. Nobody is talking about why we need this. There's total agreement. The question is, what's the vehicle?" Now, I mention this because this is one of the main reasons, main reason why I want to mention this. It's because many airline executives are donors for the Trump administration, the Trump campaign. So, President Trump obviously has an interest in providing additional funding to the airline industry. Not only that, nobody wants to see the airline industry fail. So, according to Sarah Nelson, so does Nancy Pelosi. She does not want to see this. As of October 1st, there will be more than 50,000 airline employees permanently laid off. That means they will go on unemployment. Nancy Pelosi does not want the unemployment numbers to keep going up. So this will be a need that needs to be addressed very quickly, which is great news for everybody hoping and praying for stimulus checks, unemployment extensions, rental assistance, state and local government funding, food assistance, and more. As we all know, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are against passing standalone bills. So this is good because I believe that this push from top airline executives could be the final straw that makes Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer agree to adjust their numbers and modify their funds going forward. Where are the funds going to go? Do we want the majority of funds to go to state and local governments that they do not technically need right now? Or can we take those funds and put it into the airline industry, or to stimulus checks, or to rental assistance, or to food assistance, or to PPP funding? That is what is needed right now. And this push, I personally believe, and after reading multiple articles, watching a lot of interviews just today, many people believe the same way I do, that this push could be that final straw that pushes Nancy Pelosi over the edge. Not physically, but pushes her over the edge, and where she finally agrees, okay, we do not need to stick to 2.2 trillion. We can back off of that number and we can ask for additional funding later on. So we will see what happens. We all know that the HEROES Act will not pass, and President Trump will not sign a stimulus package worth $3.4 trillion. It is currently unknown if he will even sign something for $2.2 trillion. However, many people believe he will sign something for $2 trillion, and President Trump himself has said he could get to $1.5 trillion. So that is good news. Now, being that a HEROES Act, a $3.4 trillion stimulus package, will not pass, Nancy Pelosi people expect Nancy Pelosi and House Democrats to provide some type of a modified version of the problem solver's proposal. Again, that's not a bill. That is just a proposal. It's just a PDF. That's all it is. So, If this is what we see, then that will be great, because the problem solvers proposal is an incredible foundation that they can build off of, that Democrats and Republicans, the House and the Senate, can get back to work and start negotiating. Based on all my research that I've done today, it states that Nancy Pelosi is looking at talking only with Steven Mnuchin. She does not want to deal with Mark Meadows. Obviously, she's not going to deal with Mitch McConnell. And she is going to get President Trump's approval first before moving on and voting on a bill. She doesn't want to waste the House's time when they could be working on the stopgap bill for the government shutdown. So that is what's happening right now. However, with top executives going directly to Nancy Pelosi and addressing their needs, it makes me personally believe that they will do something more to accommodate this industry. As of right now, the airline industry is hurting. Many industries have been hit extremely hard by this pandemic, and with Congress fighting over roughly $500 billion, it doesn't make much sense to let an entire industry fail when it would pretty much see or create a cataclysmic event here in the United States and probably across the world. Now, if the airline industry takes an even harder hit, it would spell disaster for much of America. And that's not something that we can see. That is not something that we want to risk. I think Nancy Pelosi needs to step up and agree that yes, $2.2 trillion is needed. However, if that is not going to be accepted, we need to back off of that number. Bring it down to 2 trillion, even 1.7 or 1.8. Just agree on something, and we can always come back later and try to get more. Now, if the airline industry were to fail, this would impact everyday life, as not only would passenger airlines come to a halt, even more so than they are now, but commercial aviation would be greatly impacted as well. So, all this is really bad news for the airline industry. However, it's good news for those of you that are pretty much clamoring for a stimulus check. We're waiting, we're by the mailbox, we're hoping something's coming. That is most of America right now. A lot of people are still out of jobs. We have over 30 million Americans, or roughly 30 million Americans, out of work. That is not going to get any better if the airline industry completely fails. Now, remember, both Democrats and most Republicans are in agreement that a stimulus check is needed for the American people. So that is good news. They also are in agreement that additional unemployment is needed. However, the number is where there's kind of a little bit of a sticking point. But the main sticking point has and will continue to be state and local government funding. Now, I know that an additional $1,200 stimulus check after over 200 days of being in this pandemic and maybe being stuck at home or not being able to work is going to do very little for most people, but it will provide some assistance to those in need, which is what we need right now. So, based on what has happened today, more funds will be coming very soon. However, it is unknown exactly how it will come to us or who will be approving it. Currently, President Trump is still considering an executive order to provide more stimulus, more payments. He is in agreement. He wants additional stimulus checks. He wants unemployment, and he also wants airline funding. As of right now, based on, again, all my research, I know unemployment enhancement, the additional $300 per week, is something President Trump can do. We also know airline funding is something that will most likely happen. It will just be a simple bailout. But currently, what's unknown is, can President Trump send $200 billion to the American people through the form of a stimulus check? That is not something we know right now. And I think the main holdup right now is, if he does this, it would almost guarantee a win for President Trump. He would be reelected. And so what they need to figure out right now is, can he do this? Or is he not allowed to do this because of the timing the stimulus check would arrive? So, in just a second, I'm going to address the timeline of when we could potentially see a stimulus check. But first, let's talk about some rental assistance. If you are in need of rental assistance, first off, there is still time. There's still a lot of money out there. For example, there's over $10 million in Harris County, Texas. So if you live in Harris County, Texas, then go and see if you can qualify if you're eligible for rental assistance. Some counties and cities have very strict rules and guidelines regarding who is eligible and who can get these rental assistance, but they are considering relaxing some of these guidelines moving forward so that more residents could become eligible. Maricopa County, Arizona still has funding for rental assistance as well, and they are considering adding more assistance, more funding very soon. So if you live in Maricopa County, Arizona, look into this if you are currently struggling with your rent. Also, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city is now offering rental assistance of $1,500 per resident per month, up to 3 months. This is up from the initial offer of $750 per month. That is their initial offer. That was initially what they were giving. However, they have realized $750 is not enough to cover the rents of people that are currently suffering the most. So, if you live in Philadelphia and you were approved previously, you will now just be credited with that additional $750, or it will go to your landlord. So, that is good news right there. Now let's address the stimulus check timeline. Based on all my research, I'm still very optimistic that a stimulus package will get passed. However, there's still a chance that nothing happens until after the election. So we need to be cognizant of that, because if we're not, and we think, okay, it doesn't happen before the election, it's not going to happen at all, that's not the case. It can still happen. Now, if this is the case, then the best hope that we have moving forward for stimulus checks and the extension of unemployment is for President Trump to do another round of executive orders. Now, if this does happen, many experts are predicting that we should expect these orders to come through within the next couple of weeks. So, this means at the earliest, we could see stimulus checks on October 12th, because October 2nd is a Friday. That is when Congress is supposed to go on recess for their election campaigning. Now, since 2nd is Friday, 3rd, 4th is your weekend, the 5th would be Monday. That would probably be the day, it would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that President Trump would do these next round of executive orders. If that's the case, the check would probably come anywhere from October 12th through October 16th. So, we'll just have to see if that is true, but as of right now, that is another option. So again, I just want you to understand that yes, there are options. It's not just coming down to Nancy Pelosi. There are ways to go around Nancy Pelosi, but President Trump does not want to do that, especially this close to the election. He wants to go through the proper channels, which is great for a president. You do not want to use your power, and I understand he wants to use his power, but you shouldn't have to use his power when that is what we have Congress there for. It should be their job. It should be their responsibility. That is what he's trying to do. So again, we will see what happens moving forward over the next couple of weeks. But what I can tell you right now is I am optimistic. Mark Meadows is optimistic. Nancy Pelosi is optimistic. Mitch McConnell, well, we don't hear a whole lot from him. However, everybody is currently somewhat optimistic that a stimulus package gets passed. So it is good news, but just understand there is still a chance that we do not receive anything. All right? So, what I promise to do moving forward, of course, I'm going to keep giving you stimulus check updates and stimulus package updates so you know what is going on. However, this next week, starting on Monday, I will probably be doing anywhere from 3 to maybe 5 videos a day. Not all on stimulus. I want to do some on stimulus so that I can keep you updated. I want to do some on how you can make money from home, which is obviously what I love to do. I want to show you how to save money, not only just make money, but save money, become more financially stable. Okay? Those are the 3 things I'm going to do moving forward. So, if you want to stay updated on everything, if you want to learn how to make money from home, if you want to be financially stable, then please go ahead, make sure you like this video, and also click that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any more of my videos. So alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow. Like always, do me a favor, hit hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on the next one.